Hi Scorpio, welcome to Higher Source Tarot for a June 2020 tarot check for all Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And I want to thank all of you for watching these readings. I love doing them for you, and we'll continue here. Thank you too for subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing these videos. I really appreciate that. And if you're new around here, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. If you tap the bell, you'll be notified when new videos are posted, but I generally post every week. I do a weekly tarot reading, monthly, mid-month, and then I've started a love tarot check, and that is on the first Friday of the month. So you can tune into that too if you're looking for love and guidance and love. So let's begin here. This is for Scorpio, June 2020, for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Here we go. If a reading doesn't resonate with you, check a different part of your chart. Don't try to make it fit for you, okay? But maybe this is for you, so we'll see. Every reading is for somebody. It's not for everybody, but it's always for somebody. So you start off here, your current energy is the Fool, and its immediate influence is the King of Swords. In the Destiny position, you've got the Ten of Swords here. In the more distant past, you have the Seven of Cups. The more recent past, you've got the Ace of Pentacles. And then coming towards you, you do have the Nine of Pentacles here. You are represented by the Five of Swords. The people around you, or the person, is the Ace of Cups. You've got the Seven of Pentacles as your hopes and fears. And then you've got the Six of Swords. And then you've got the I'm going to take both of these for you. You got the Death card and the Four of Swords. And I don't want to scare you off with that, so just stay tuned because the Death card is Scorpio, okay? So, it's interesting. I watched an interview with a man named Bradley Valentine, and so if you've ever seen those angel cards, the angel oracle cards, some readers use them on here on YouTube. They were created by Doreen Virtue, who had, in the last couple of years, she's completely renounced all of her work. She's done dozens of books. She's done all these oracle cards. And she basically says they're all dark energy and all this other stuff. And one of the people she worked with closely was Bradley Valentine, and he's still a psychic medium. He doesn't speak of her. I don't know. I've not seen any interviews where anyone's even asked him. And I think that's intentional. But anyway, they work together, and he's very gentle, he's very soft, and he talks about the reason why he wanted to do these angel cards is because the pictures on these cards are so scary. And that he felt like, even though the Rider-Waite is a classic deck, he felt like the cards needed to be softened because they would scare people off. So anyway, so don't be afraid, because there's a couple of these that are some of the ones that he avoids. He avoided in his deck. He even renamed them. But they're actually a good thing for you. So before we begin here too much farther, we've got air energy. So you've got Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. I feel like those are the most heavily dominated here, but you also do have Scorpio, like I mentioned. You've got Earth, you've got water. So you begin here with your current position is all about a brand new beginning. You've got infinite potential here. But I think what you are going to need to do to get that, you're going to need to be very clear and very, very clear in your communication. So for some of you, this is work related. You're going to need to, at work, be very clear with communication and documenting things. I feel like you're going to be up for some kind of a review, or there's going to be some kind of inventory taken, and you're going to want things in writing. So, and it's not that you're in any kind of trouble, but it's like you will get a raise out of it if you can well document and not come across as defensive, but coming across kind of nonchalantly. Here's just what I've been doing with data, or here's what I've been, and just kind of passing it along like it's just kind of nonchalant. And those of you that do that are going to see money coming in as a result. So, again, I do feel like for some of you, you've definitely got a new, fresh, clean slate here. There's a very, it's kind of like no holds barred. It's like this energy of going forward and not having a care in the world. Very carefree, very, very carefree energy. And your influence around it, though, with this King of Swords is, it is about communication, about having clarity of mind. So just making sure that you're, even though you're about to take a leap here, keeping yourself somewhat grounded in terms of meditation, keeping your mind clear, keeping yourself connected to source. So this is an interesting card to have in your destiny here, because this is about something being over. You had a conclusion of a cycle here, and I think it left you feeling very drained, but you're definitely moving forward here. So I don't let one card in the deck scare me. You may have had a situation where you had to learn a lesson. You were brought here to learn this, and it was painful. And the thing is with these lessons, if we don't learn them the first time, the second time it gets even more painful until we really figure it out. And in a minute, when we're done with the tarot part of the reading, I've got these archetype cards from Carolyn Mace, and they're just really great at giving us more depth into, what roles do we fulfill in this earth, and why do we keep attracting this stuff. But I do think some of you learned a very painful lesson, and it was all about trust and betrayal. And some of you were betrayed not only by a love, but also by a friend. They may have had some kind of affair or something together, but it also feels like some of you, they were talking about you behind your back, and it wasn't acceptable at all. So you've learned from that. That lesson has been learned. And so what comes in is just a beautiful energy. In the more distant past, you've got the Seven of Cups. And again, I think it's related to this Ten of Swords, where there's disillusionment. This is Source telling you to take off the rose-colored glasses. And I think some of you wanted to believe in this person. But again, with Scorpio too, you're a very psychic sign. And some of you were getting things that you were trying not to see or to accept. You were having intuition about a person that you didn't want to believe. And they were kind of a snake charmer, right? They're kind of have this manipulative edge about them. And so when you would have inclinations and try to approach them about it, they would just talk their way out of it. But you were right, and I do think this ended, but it was for the better for you. Now, you have two aces in this, too, by the way. You've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups, which is awesome. In the more recent past, you may have had some kind of change at work, a new beginning, a new job, and it was kind of scary during this whole, shutting down, not knowing, what would happen if you would not have enough seniority or, I guess seniority is the best way to say it, at that job. Like, were you going to lose your job? What was going to happen? I do feel like it's a great fit for you. It's not going anywhere, but it was scary for a minute. For some of you, too, you may have come into a little bit of money, or if you haven't, you have it coming. You've got new coming towards you. Some of you, I think you're going to be trying some kind of new diet thing, like I'm getting for somebody. Don't ask me where this stuff comes. Well, I know where it comes from, but why? That's the fun thing about this. But somebody's going to be trying intermittent fasting, and that is going to work for them. They're going to have great success with this. Or if it's you, it's working for you. I don't know why I'm getting that, but I am. So with this Ace of Pentacles, though, you've got a new chapter here. So this is in the more recent past, so the energy may have just begun, but it's coming for quite a while. It's sustainable. This new chapter is going to be sustainable. You're represented here by the Nine of Pentacles. You've got it's a single lady card, but this is also about bringing in material manifestations. So some of you are going to be, in the next month, you're going to be getting a lot of material things like your hair, your new clothes. Somebody may be getting something like a new boat. I don't know if you're in a situation where you'd get a boat for some reason, or a cottage, going to a cottage. It's something like that where I'm seeing somebody in a boat on water, kind of a thing. And this is upcoming energy, so I do think within the next month or two, you're going to have something like that on the material plane, or it could be an unexpected trip too, where you're in around water, beach, boat kind of a deal. But overall, this is prosperity. You've definitely got money coming in here, Scorpio. You've got stability, and you're very independent with it. You are not going to need to be dependent on anybody in terms of money. Now, you've had a change here, and you'd rather be right than be happy than be right. Excuse me, I said that backwards. You're not going to attend, you're not going to attend a fight if you're invited. Your stability is worth more than that to you. It may be related to this Ten of Swords. It's not the love part of it, it's the other energy that was around that. Somebody in your friend circle who I think still sometimes runs their mouth a little bit. But you're taking the high road on that. I think it was Michelle Obama that said, when they go low, we go high. And I'm getting that for somebody. They go low and you go high. And it changes things around you. It changes the whole energy field around you when you're able to do that and not engage with them. Because once you engage, it lowers your vibration. So some of you are going to be stepping around a little bit of a minefield, but it's not anything... it's not anything gigantic, but it's changing you fundamentally. That's the good news. So you have somebody coming in that is a new love interest. It's Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio here. But for some of you, I feel like it could be an earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, and that would be a nice combination, wouldn't it? So you have definitely a new love offer coming through, and it's going to be sustainable. For some of you, this person might be in law enforcement or even like a call service, some kind of it's like they're a first responder, but they're taking the calls. I don't know who that's for, but that certainly could be their line of work. They're a very compassionate person. They want the best. They want the best for individuals, but they want the best for society. And they're in it to win it. This is not somebody who plays games. This is somebody who loves deep, and they love long, and they love strong. And it's going to be a really nice connection for you. I think it'll be long term. I don't know that you'll ever get married, because I feel like there's something about that here. But it could be a life partner without a marriage for some of you. It could be with a marriage too, but I do get for some of you it's a life partner without a marriage. But there's abundance here. There's definitely abundance. And your hopes and fears here, it's kind of like, now what? What's next? I put in all this time. I've worked for it. I've done what I've needed to do to clean up my side of the street. I've kept things clean, especially where this 5 is concerned. It's like talking about keeping your side of the street clean. That's a message for somebody here that's going to be important, because the minute you can disconnect from that stuff, like I said, your whole energy field shifts, and it really raises you up into attracting more. So it's coming. You've done the work. You are somewhat in a state of repose, I guess. And you actually have it here too, but you've got, oh man, I can barely reach these. You've got an interesting combination here, because you're moving forward. But it's like a brand new beginning with the Death card here. It's Scorpio energy. You must die to be reborn. There's a rebirth here. And I think that what the painful things that you've gone through are definitely in the past. We must die to be reborn and die into spirit, where the Death card is all about losing your ego, okay? And it's about becoming pure with, when you really look at the card and take it in, there's this river that moves behind, and this is all about that flow of love and life and moving forward. But there's purity with this, okay? It's about letting go of the ego and the false pretenses and the things that keep us small, the things that keep us second guessing, comparing ourselves, because the ego has to do that. The ego has to have division to survive. The ego has to have some of this drama and this other crap and comparison. And all that does is pits us against other people. So with the Death card, there's a new you coming out of this. That's just beautiful. So here I mentioned before, you're in a state of repose here. And there's a part of you that as you quiet your mind and learn how to go within, the answers will come. You know, like I said before, you're a very psychic sign anyway, but the more that you can do those practices, the more that you're going to move forward and ascend. So I definitely think you have a relationship coming in. You've got nice material stability here. We're going to do Carolyn Mace archetype card. She is a theologist. She's got a PhD in theology, but she's actually a mystic. She would say she's a Reformed Catholic, and for many years worked in medical intuition and then got away from that and is really just an overall spiritual teacher. But the tarot is all based on archetypes, but so are patterns and relationships. So you have the artist as your archetype card. The light attributes are expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. So if you're seeing things like synchronistic events like numbers lining up 3333 4444, you're being guided, you know, you're aligned with spirit. And you know, if you turn on your car and every time it's like there's a song that comes on that seems to have some hidden message, that's synchronicity. So the shadow attributes of this card, though, I think are really related to this past event. Using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as a starving artist to elicit pity. I don't feel that for you, but I think that the guidance on that is just to step away from any tendency towards martyrdom, towards sort of that utilizing pain as a social currency. Sometimes we get by on our wounds. We use those wounds so that we seem more approachable, and you definitely don't need to do that. So we'll close things off today with an Abraham Hicks asking it as given card. But whose truth is the truth the truth? With enough attention to anything, the essence of what you have been giving thought to will eventually become a physical manifestation. And then as others give attention to it, they help it expand. In time, this manifestation, whether wanted or not, is called truth. Deliberate creation is about deliberately choosing those experiences you make your truths. And boy, is that true. I'll give you a quick story because I feel like when these come in, they're important. I knew a woman who had many negative events happen, and people would always say, I don't understand, why does all this bad stuff always happen to her? And they would put so much attention on all the bad stuff. And guess what? Her life became a series of difficult, challenging, horrible events connected, punctuated by these like small little reprieves. And I think it was really that collective energy field. So when we look at somebody and we say, boy, they seem to have been born under a blessed star. They seem to everything just comes to them. It's so easy. They've got the Midas touch. That's the same thing. We are giving a collective energy towards those good things, and it's building momentum. So focus on the things you want, because if you can see it in your mind, you can have it in your reality. I love you so much, Scorpio, and I'll be back again soon.